Girl, you need to make this. I'm not joking when I say that that was like 2 seconds. That took me literally less than 10 minutes to put together, and I got interrupted by my toddler. It has been a hot minute since we've done something in the kitchen, and today is the day. I'm gonna bring you 2 healthy recipes. Now this is part of a collaboration of all healthy recipes, so stick around. I have 2 really great easy ones for you. Okay, so the 2 recipes I'm bringing you today are, one is going to be a fruit salad. Now I actually make this fruit salad often for my kids. It's usually a side dish as a breakfast meal, but you can eat this on its own as a delicious snack. You could top it with anything from plain yogurt to whipped cream if you want to make it more of a dessert style, but the base of it is actually very clean and healthy. And then the second recipe I'm going to bring you is an avocado pudding, an avocado chocolate pudding to be exact. And this is something that I also make fairly regularly. And this one is nice because this one fits in with anybody who's trying to eat like low carb, or if you're eating keto. I don't eat keto, but I eat very high protein. And so I am often looking for little snacks that aren't super high carb. So these are both incredibly easy and kid-friendly recipes and are a great use up of things that you probably already have on hand at your own home. Okay, so for the fruit salad here, we're just going to use whatever fruit you have in your refrigerator right now. I happen to have a decent amount of produce on hand right now, so we're going to use blackberries, strawberries, blueberries, all 3 of which are already been washed. I do have a couple little cuties here. I have an apple and a banana, so I'm going to put all these together. You can use any fruit you want. If you have melons, if you have other berries, if you have grapefruit or anything like that, you can really add whatever fruit you want in this. Now the lemons, that's going to be for the sauce we're going to pour out, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so now that we have our fruit set aside here, we need a nice bowl. I like to put this fruit salad in a clear bowl because I just think it's so pretty, but you can put it in whatever bowl you want. And we're going to actually start with the little bit of sauce that we're going to add to this. And all it is a combination of lemons and honey. Now these are actually pretty old lemons, and so they're on the hard side, so they're not going to have a ton of juice in it, but you don't need a ton of liquid for this because the acidity in the lemons will actually break down your fruit fast, and so you kind of want to serve this fresh, otherwise it's going to get a little soupy on the bottom. This is a fresh salad, so you want to make this, if you're serving it for people, make it fresh and then mix it together shortly before you serve it. All right, so I'm going to grab my handy dandy little lemon juicer here, and we're just going to juice the lemons. We want at least like a tablespoon of lemon juice. So you can estimate, well, I guess it depends on how much fruit you're using, but you can play this by ear for sure. So that's actually juicier than I thought it would be. We'll get that in there. There's that. Oh, my toddler's upset. I better go tend to her. All right, she was concerned I left the house. I did not leave the house. Okay, so we have a lemon juice in here. That's about a tablespoon. So we're going to start with that. And I like to make the juice first and set it aside so that as I cut the fruit, I just add the fruit directly into this bowl. Once we get it all cut up into similar sized pieces, we are going to toss it in this, and it's going to be so delicious. So now we're going to just add a little bit of honey to this. And here comes my toddler. She's upset. It's okay. She'll come out when she's ready. So this is about a tablespoon. So 1 to 1. We're going to give it a little bit of a stir. And just make sure we combine the honey with the liquid. And we're going to probably add just a little bit more honey. You just want it to be really well incorporated so it mixes really nice with the fruit. All right, once that's nice and combined, you can decide whether or not you want more. We are not heating this up or anything. This is just a nice cold fruit salad, and we're just going to keep it really simple. I think the original recipe calls for like 5 tablespoons of honey. I don't think that's necessary, but it's a very up to you kind of thing. You can do it, make it one time, see how you like it, and see if you want more. But it's really just a really nice syrup that the fruit gets tossed in and just makes it a little extra special. So, all right, there we go. So we have that. That was about 2 tablespoons of honey to 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And we're just gonna roll with that for now. So now we're gonna move on to cutting up our fruit. And you just want it to be very similar sizes. So we're gonna go with things that already have its size established. So right now we have some cuties, and then we have some blackberries here that are whole. We have some blueberries. You don't want massive chunks of fruit in this, especially if it's a hard fruit. Like I'm gonna cut up this apple. We don't want huge chunks of apple in this, but a nice crunch, a nice little bite of crunch is nice. So just gonna peel your orange, and you can just take your segments and put them directly in your bowl. So just put them right in with your syrup. And this salad comes together super fast and is a really nice way to change up just eating regular fruit. And obviously fruit itself is sweet and delicious on its own, but every once in a while you just need something different. And this, you can top this actually with, you could put like plain Greek yogurt on this, and then you could also mix that in and it turns into a nice creamy fruit salad. You can, if you want to make it more of a dessert, you can make some homemade whipping cream and top it with that. You could also, I mean, you could put this itself, you could use it as a syrup and actually put it over like ice cream or even pancakes, depending on what fruits you're putting in there. If you're doing just like berries, putting that over pancakes or something, that would be delicious. So, but we're going with healthy recipes here because this, like I said, is a collaboration put on by Tammy at Mountain Grandma. I'll link her channel down below. Tammy is lovely. She actually has a recipe on her channel for homemade chocolate chip cookies, and we make her cookies all the time. My daughter makes them all by herself. They're a very easy recipe and they turn out absolutely amazing. So I can highly recommend that recipe for you. You can find that on Mountain Grandma, and that is Tammy, and she is the collaborator host of this today. So we're just gonna go ahead and, that's probably enough blackberries for now. We're just gonna put the blueberries in there. And again, you can kind of put however many you want. We'll go ahead and get this stirred up. We're gonna keep adding as we go, but you wanna start getting that liquid starting to incorporate a little bit. And it's already so beautiful, and we haven't even put any other colors in there yet. All right, we're gonna go with the apples next. So, anyways, I was gonna say also with this collaboration, there is a bunch of other channels that are participating today. And actually I should say not just today, the entire month of, what month are we in? May? It's a May collaboration. So I think June 6th, she's doing a giveaway. I believe it's at 6 p.m. Central Time. I will link all that down below. But if you watch the other videos in this collaboration, you can be entered in to win whatever the giveaway entails. So that's always kind of fun and a nice way to get people in this homesteading and like homemaking community together, and to just, yeah, it's fun to meet new people. So that is the fun part of collaboration. So you get to find new channels that you might like, as well as support small channels and helping each other grow and to just make new connections. So, all right, here we go. We got apples in there. Next up, we're gonna do some strawberries. I'm gonna try to cut these very similar size to some of the fruit that we already have in here. And I'm just gonna kind of hack away at it. Just put it in little chunks like that. That's very similar size. And I think this bowl is gonna be filling up really nicely. This is gonna be a serving for a few people, probably. So we have a family of 5, and we will probably all take a nice serving off of this size of bowl. If you're just making an individual one, or if it's just for you, just know that if you store a larger bowl like this, like I said before, the acidity and the sugars in the fruit, they will naturally start to break down, and it will become a bit more soupy the next day, but it's still really delicious. And if you end up doing that, you don't like the texture of the fruit at that point, you can actually just put it in a smoothie and yeah, just add it to your daily smoothie. And I've done that and it works wonderful. If, like I said, also if you're using just berries, you could actually just turn this into a hot syrup and pour it over another meal. You could put it on oatmeal or whatever. Just trying to give you a bunch of ideas, because healthy food does not have to be difficult. oftentimes when we think of healthy food, we think of like something that's going to take like forever to prepare, or just having to eat like, you know, an apple by itself or whatever. And healthy also means different things to different people. So when it comes to wanting to create whole food meals and snacks for your family, this is a good one, because this is literally just fruit and honey. So all of that is it's natural. It's going to be natural sugars. It's not going to, yeah, it's a good source for you and the kids. Good source of fiber, and a nice little beautiful treat that you can add to your breakfast or as a snack. So here it is so far. We're gonna add the bananas in last, because they're a little mushy. You don't want them to start falling apart, so you want to kind of keep them intact. Put them in last if you're going to use them. I'm just gonna give them a nice large like slice. And add that in. Now something else you can do with this salad is you can add, to just create a little extra like interest, is to add some poppy seeds, and that just makes it look really pretty. You don't taste the poppy seeds. I actually don't have any on hand right now, so I'm not going to add that today, but that's another thing you could add in. You could add in chia seeds. Chias are going to plump up though, so that will change the texture a little bit over time, and they will add a little bit of crunch, but they do add just that little bit of interest for visuals for you. So that is the fruit salad. We have all the fruit here in there. We've mixed it up. You can see that it is really just beautiful and glossy, and really a dynamic bowl of fruit, and it is so delicious. So let's give it a taste. So easy. Whatever fruit you have on hand, and just toss it in that syrup, and it's such an easy go-to snack, and a really nice like side dish for a breakfast if you're hosting for anybody too. So I'm gonna give it a test. Obviously I can't get all the fruit in one bite, but let's see, we'll get a couple in there. It's so nice. Having that little bit of honey in there really accentuates just the deliciousness of fruit, and having that little acidity in the background with the lemon juice is also a really great addition. Now with the lemon juice, if you don't have lemons on hand, you could also just use like an orange juice, or squeeze one of these cuties or whatever orange you have on hand. Any kind of acidity is going to be nice in the background. So don't get hung up on lemons. I've also done it with limes. It has a little bit more of a bite, but limes work well too. And they actually keep the fruit visually fresher too. They will look more appealing. So it'll actually keep your apples looking a little more white, as opposed to getting brown because of the oxygen in the air. So there's the beautiful bowl. Yes, I just ate off of this and then I put it back in there, but it's just my family eating, so it's no big deal. So here's the first snack. Now let's move on to the chocolate avocado pudding. Okay, so next up we have our avocado chocolate pudding, or avocado mousse is what the original recipe says. So this little recipe I actually found in a magazine, like no joke, probably about 10 years ago, and I've kept this little tiny piece of paper. I don't need the piece of paper anymore, but it's just a good reminder if I forget to make this. Oh yeah, that was a good recipe. So I have some avocados here. It requires avocados that are past their prime. So you don't want a hard avocado, or even one that's kind of just turned ripe. You really want the really dark ones that are like on their way out. I don't like the flavor of avocados when they have gone way too far, when they're like almost dark on the inside. You can eat them like that. I don't like the bitterness that it has in there. So I do like some green flesh still in there, but it can have little black spots. Now the texture of the outside are so squishy on these ones. So I think these will be perfect for this pudding. You want to be able to mash it up really well. Now the recipe does say to utilize a food processor, but I often am way too lazy to pull out a food processor. So I do have a blender. I could use that, but today I'm actually just going to mash it with my hands. Well, not my hands, but I'm going to mash it with a fork. And we can get it really nice and smooth if we spend the time and just really mash it up, but they have to be overripe for that to happen. See, these are beautiful. They're still nice and green, but they're very squishy. So, all right, so I'm just going to make enough for just me today. We're going to take the pits out and we're going to put this in a little bowl. Once again, I'm going to grab a glass bowl because I have a thing for glass bowls. I just think everything looks so pretty in them. So don't do this in your hand. Don't cut your hand. I have seen way too many stories of people taking the avocado pits out on their hand like this and actually cutting their hand. Oh gosh, that's cringy, isn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to squeeze the avocado right in this bowl. I love avocado. I would eat avocado toast like every day of my life if I could. I don't always have sourdough bread handy, but if I do, that's my favorite, sourdough bread, because it gets nice and crispy and crunchy. And it's absolutely delicious. So we're just going to get all the avocado in there. Now this, obviously this is, 2 full avocados. So that's a lot for one person, but you can refrigerate this and eat another serving tomorrow, or you can share it, or however big of a serving you want to make. Again, avocado is going to get brown, and we're going to add chocolate to this anyway, so it's going to be brown, but it does change flavor as avocado sits. So I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay, so now that we have our avocado in here, we are just going to go to town and mash it as smooth as you can. Okay, so we are getting a nice creamy texture on this avocado here. See that? And if you were going to use a blender or a food processor, you're definitely going to get a nice smooth finish there. But unless you're using, putting a bunch of avocados in there, I just don't find it necessary. And I also feel like this is just easy. I like to just whip things up and have them good to go. And I try not to dirty a ton of extra dishes, but for some reason, whenever I'm home, the kitchen is loaded in dishes, and that's just the reality of it. So if I can prevent adding a hard to clean dish like a food processor container, I will do that. So, all right, so this is the base of our pudding. We have a really nice creamy avocado here. Next, we're just going to add a little dash of salt. We're going to use our Redmond sea salt here. I love the taste of this salt. We're just going to, it's a single serving, so we're just going to grind a little bit in. You don't want it extra salty. You just want to take a little bit of the sweetness away, or just cut the sweetness a little bit with that salt. And we're going to use a cocoa powder. I have here, you can use any cocoa powder you have. I have this Ghirardelli 100% cocoa. We're just going to do this a couple tablespoons at a time. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons here. That was kind of 2 heaping tablespoons. And we'll give that a stir. And we're going to start to get brown. We need a little bit of our liquid now, so we're going to add in a little bit of vanilla extract. I just have this one from Costco. If you have one that you homemade, that is excellent. I'm just going to free pour here about a teaspoon. We're going to start with that, and we'll just stir that up. We're going to add a little bit more of that vanilla. So we're going to get about, 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon here. The original recipe does call for a full tablespoon, but I don't think it's always necessary, especially if you're using, with the original recipe, it calls for maple syrup. Now, I actually don't use maple syrup in this. I have, and it's absolutely delicious. But I'm trying to cut down on some extra sugars, and so with the last recipe, that fruit salad I just made you, we use honey, we have all kinds of natural sugars in there. With this one, I'm going to use actually a monk fruit sweetener. It's already looking really nice and brown and chocolatey, and now we're going to add in our sweetener, and that's really where the magic happens. So we're going to use, instead of the maple syrup the original recipe calls for, we are going to use our monk fruit sweetener today. Now this is what makes it extra friendly for people who like to eat keto or keeping their carbs down. Just like with the cocoa powder, we're just going to do a tablespoon at a time. This stuff can be really sweet, so we're just going to go with 2 tablespoons. And then we're going to stir that up. Just give it a nice whip. Now from here, You're going to do it customized on how rich you want your pudding and how sweet you want your pudding. But this right now, I have a fork here, but look at this. This is like a delicious, creamy pudding, and this is super low carb friendly. So we're gonna give it a taste real quick. Yum. It's already really good. Yum. Okay, that's super good. So here's something I will say. If you're using a like a powdered sweetener of any sort, and you're not using the maple syrup, you are going to have a thicker pudding because the syrup is going to loosen it up a bit. If you're using a food processor, it's going to whip air into it, which is how you get the moussiness, and it will make it really like a delicate and really nice. But if you use a powdered, you do kind of want to let it sit just for a little bit because you want that powdered sugar, whatever ones you chose, to dissolve a bit. Otherwise, you'll have little granules that when you take a bite, it'll be kind of like gritty. It doesn't take long for those to dissolve, just a few minutes, and they will start to break down a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more chocolate. We're going to make this just a tiny bit more chocolatey. So just about a tablespoon. I definitely didn't need to at this point, but I have a major sweet tooth today, and we need to cure this sweet tooth right now. So we're gonna do that with some extra chocolate. And this actually recipe, the original one, that's this one. It does say 6 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. I don't think that's necessary, but it's completely up to you. So, and then we'll give it a little more of that. And we'll mix that up. Okay, now I think I have it exactly where I want it. And I'm going to put it in a pretty little bowl for you. And there you have it. Chocolate avocado pudding. So easy, so healthy, and you should make this today. I have some leftover strawberries from my daughter's breakfast this morning. So I'm going to toss those on top of this pudding. And we're going to have a chocolate-covered strawberry pudding. That's what I'm eating for snack today. Oh yeah, load it up. There you have it. 2 delicious, super easy snacks that you can make for your family or just for yourself. These both took me less than 30 minutes while recording it. So if you can do it by yourself without recording it, it's going to come together in a flash. So don't forget to check out Tammy at Mountain Grandma. I'm going to link her down below. She is the one hosting the collaboration, and if you want to be part of the drawing at the end of this collaboration, make sure that you watch the videos in this collaboration, which are all also listed down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Now go make some delicious, healthy snacks. I realized I forgot to taste this for you with the strawberries on it. So it's so incredibly creamy and delicious. I'm excited. Girl, you need to make this. You wouldn't know that's avocados. He loves the fruit salad. It's so good. Yeah, River, there's your fruit salad. Are you excited?
Yes.
Do you love fruit salad?
Yes.
Yay.
Sometimes I actually eat it. Okay.
So cute.